So I'm here today with Beth. Beth is our beach wedding coordinator. And one of the things that we've started doing a lot more of is the beach weddings. Not just the ceremonies on the beach, but the setups on the beach. So we're here today to talk about the different types of setups we can do, the different rules and regulations at different beaches, and the way we can make your beach wedding happen perfectly and make it great.
Great. The wedding of your dreams.
The wedding of your dreams. So, one of the things we started doing is the setups on the beach.
Yes.
Now, each beach is different. Each city has different regulations. Some don't allow any setup on the beach.
Correct.
Some do allow setup on the beach. Some allow it but charge you up the yin-yang
Yes.
to have setup on the beach.
Correct.
So basically between Dana Point and North Malibu, there's probably about 50 different places where you can have a beach wedding.
Oh, even more maybe.
Even more. And some of the places are very easy to deal with, and some of them aren't. So let's start going south. Dana Point has some beautiful parks, like Pines Park, many different parks where you can set up that are overlooking the water.
Heritage Park is gorgeous
Heritage
at the
Park
sundial, but you're not on the sand. So if you want the sand, you're going to have to go to a different beach.
Right, but it's a beautiful view
Gorgeous.
of the harbor down below, and it makes it really nice to do, and it's a great backdrop for a wedding. So let's go a little further. Let's go into Laguna Beach. Now Laguna Beach has some very beautiful places. You can have weddings on the sand or in the gazebo at Heisler Park or at Monument Point or different places along, but they don't allow you to do any setup.
Right.
You can have one or two chairs for older people, but for the most part they don't allow any major setup. No arches, no big chair setups or anything like that.
Correct.
But they are great places to have them.
Right.
And the permits, you have to get permits for all
Right,
these
and you
places.
need permits. And that is a city beach, and there are some beautiful Crescent Bay. It overlooks the ocean like you're on the deck of a ship. So you get a beautiful ocean view, just not toes in the sand. But you can do 40, 50, and there's actually a couple places in Laguna that you, not on the sand again, but you can do setup with up to 75 people.
Now if it's just the two of you and a couple guests, we can usually get away with going down onto pretty much any beach and doing this. And the way we do that is we'll draw a nice heart in the sand, and you guys will stand in that, and your guests will be around you. So that's a nice way to do it with no setup on the beach.
Yes.
Then we go a little bit further north to Corona del Mar and Newport. Now Corona del Mar and Newport don't really require any permits, but you can't do any setup.
Correct.
So you can have up to, what is it, 100 people? Or is it 75, something like that?
As long as there's no setup, yes.
And Little Corona Beach, beautiful spot to have it on. It's a very private beach. You have to hike down this trail to get there, but it's very beautiful.
Which you want to keep in mind with older guests
Right.
and relatives and family.
And you can always go to the main beach in Corona del Mar, which is a really beautiful place to have it as well. So then we go further north to Huntington Beach. Huntington Beach, you're an expert at Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach is one of those, all along the Southern California coast, you've got state beaches, city beaches, and county beaches. Huntington is one that has all three. So it is a bit cumbersome, but you can get it done, and the permit fees are relatively high.
Right. But we can do setups.
Absolutely.
And you can do a larger group, too.
Yes.
I've seen setups on there for 150 people.
Yes.
That way you can do a big setup, but you know you're going to have to spend a little more money.
Yes.
And the other thing about Huntington Beach is, especially during the summer months, it's very crowded. Any beach area that you go to, especially during the summer, is going to be very crowded. So just understand that no matter what happens, there are going to be other people. There really are no private beaches in Southern California per se. There are some, but they're very difficult to get to.
Yes.
So let me go further north to Seal Beach.
Seal Beach is...
Your hometown.
Yes, it is. And it's a fabulous place to get married, but you cannot get married on the sand with a large group during the summer months. Again, we can get 2 or 3, 10 people, 20 people walk on the beach and have a wedding. No one's going to bother you.
Right.
But after, it's actually Memorial Day through Labor Day. So, for instance, we have a wedding coming up in September for 150 people at First Street. First Street's a little bit further away from the pier, so you don't get as many of the crowds.
And there's a big parking lot?
Huge parking lot. And the parking there is very, very convenient as well. Not only if you've got a large group like that, you can permit with the parking company and save spaces. So that is a big advantage.
Yeah, and it's a great place too, and it's very clean. They got beautiful breakwater running alongside, and you got the beautiful backdrop of the Long Beach skyline.
Yes.
And it's very nice.
Yes, beautiful.
Next beaches we come to.
Long
our hometown
Beach.
here, Long Beach. We're friends of Long Beach. Yes.
Our favorite.
Yeah. Well, two reasons why, A, we're located here in Long Beach, but also we have a great relationship with the city departments that allow us to do the weddings on the beach. And we don't get priority, but we understand the rules and regulations very well. So we know what we can do and what we can't do. There's 3 basic locations in Long Beach where we do the ceremonies. 2 of them are at the end of the peninsula, and the other one is at the Shoreline Park, or the Lighthouse Park is what we like to call it as well.
Yes.
Both have different regulations. Both have different fees associated with them. And on the beach we can do arches, we can do chair setups. On the park we can do chair setups and columns. So those are the 2 differences as far as the setup that we're allowed.
Yes. And if you love lighthouses, Shoreline Park has the most gorgeous lighthouse, and you're surrounded by water. The Queen Mary to the right, Shoreline Park to the left. So
And you
you're
got
not
the
on the
city
sand, but
backdrop,
it is gorgeous.
and you got the bay behind you. It's a beautiful spot. And the thing I like about it is the colors there are so different. You got the greens of the grass,
Yes.
you got the blue of the sea, you got the backdrop, you got the beautiful sky above you. And what's nice about it too is there's restaurants galore right in that area.
Yes.
So that's a nice thing. And our office to get your marriage license is just a few steps away.
And the parking is relatively easy there as well, and plentiful, so that's nice.
As long as there is paid parking. So you do have to prepay for that stuff, but it's easy enough to do, and we walk you through that process.
And with the beaches, you're always going to have a parking issue as far as paying. Not that you can't find parking, but everyone has meters now that you can stick paper money in or debit cards, so that's a help.
Exactly. So we'll go further north, San Pedro and Palos Verdes. It's a little more difficult to do stuff in Palos Verdes. They're a little more restrictive. But San Pedro has some nice little beach areas where you can do setups at, down by the Marina down there. They have some great spots by the Doubletree.
Yes.
They have the parks down there where it's really beautiful. And some of them it's not ocean view, some of them it's or not ocean view, but it's not on the ocean.
Correct.
And then you go further around, on the other side of Palos Verdes, there's this beautiful park by the high school with a gazebo that overlooks the entire South Bay area, which is a beautiful gazebo. We've done many ceremonies there. It's a first-come, first-served spot. There's no setup allowed, but if you have a good 20 people, 25 people, it's a beautiful spot to just show up and have a nice ceremony there.
Yes, yes.
Then we go to the fun beaches, the South Bay beaches, Torrance, Redondo, Manhattan, Hermosa. These are a little bit more challenging to have ceremonies on because of the restrictions of the city. So give me a little idea on what the challenges are
All those
there.
beaches are governed by LA County Beaches and Harbors. I'm building some really good relationships there, and I think that we're going to be able to put together some really, really nice. We've done a few smaller ones, but we've got some big ones coming up, and it seems like everything's going very, very smoothly. So that's nice. But you are looking at larger fees again.
Right, and they charge any of the vendors who come, the photographers, any other chair stuff, they charge a percentage.
Correct.
They have to get their piece of the pie. So everywhere in the South Bay, they charge a little extra fee to take care of that.
Yes.
Then we go to Venice Beach. Venice Beach is the same thing, but there's no permits required. You can have as many people as you want on the sand. They don't really care in Venice.
Have you been to Venice?
Right. Yeah, you have to deal with the nuts and the flakes. It's like a bowl of granola. It's a bunch of nuts and flakes. But you can go out there, and without setup, you can just bring a whole bunch of people out there.
Without
It's really
setup,
nice
absolutely.
and easy.
Yes.
One of the easiest beaches that we work with is Santa Monica Beach.
Yes, it is.
Santa Monica doesn't require any permits. We can do setup on the beach. We can pretty much do anything we want there.
The only thing that they ask, especially if you're doing a setup, is that we go north of the pier. Lot 4 is perfect.
Lot 3?
Lot 3?
Lot 3 and Lot 4.
Lot 3 and Lot 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's larger than the other, but they're north of the pier, and that's where you want to be for your own sake as well, because it's not as crowded.
Right, there's less people. But remember, in the summer, there's going to be crowds. So you got to take that into account.
Yes, and you're not going to have a permit, so asking people to move nicely works.
But what's nice about the beach is it's very wide. It's about a quarter of a mile from the parking lot to the actual water. So there's so much in between. And that's where we usually set up. We don't usually set up too close to the water, because then everybody has to go all the way out there, and we have to lug all the stuff out there too. So somewhere midway, that way there's not a lot of people there, and you can have it pretty much to yourself in the middle of the beach.
Yes.
Then we go further north to the Malibu beaches. In Malibu, some beautiful spots.
Gorgeous.
We got Point Dume. We got my favorite, El Matador. We got Leo Carrillo. Those are some of my favorite spots.
Very
what
nice.
do we do on those spots?
You know what? I've been working with Malibu for quite some time now, and they're great. In fact, the lady just called me back this morning and said, we're all set, just each one other than Sycamore, Leo Carrillo, and one other, we can just, it's a one-on-one basis, so we can take care of those, no problem.
Excellent.
Yes.
And what's nice about this, especially El Matador, and I'm going to show some pictures
Yes.
about some of these different beaches,
Great.
is it's so nice to be able to just have this beautiful backdrop. It's very serene. Places like El Matador have a really small parking lot, so you got to make sure you set up a time to get there when it's not going to be that crowded. But it's a hike. It's definitely a hike to get down there. And Leo Carrillo is kind of crazy because there's many different parking lots, so you have to make sure that you know which lighthouse you're going to,
You're very
lifeguard house
Lifeguard tower,
you're going
yes.
to be in front of.
And also, going back a little bit, with Torrance Beach and Redondo Beach, they go by lifeguard towers as well.
Right.
So if you're looking at those beaches, please, look at the lifeguard towers that you like the best, and we'll go from there.
Exactly. And once you find the beach location that you like, then just give us a call, and we have the packages. So we have many different packages. If there's a beach or overlook that we can set up on, we have designed packages
Yes.
to go on these. We have a 20 to 40 package, a 40 to 75 package, a 75 plus, and a 100 chair plus packages. And all these packages include what?
Include the officiant, they include all your chair setup, they include whatever decor you might like as far as an arch or columns. The only thing that would be extra would be flowers, and then we can take care of that as well. I'm a full-service florist, lay of love.
Right. Now, what's nice about what she does is she makes leis. She also does all the flowers that go on top of the arches. And each one is custom designed to each particular couple.
Correct.
Different couples have different colors, and we custom create those colors, those flowers, to make it look beautiful.
To enhance what you're looking for, your vision. I can do bouquets that will actually match the archway piece. All those things, yes.
And the most beautiful leis. If you need a good lei, this is just a plastic one. But if you need a beautiful lei, she's the one who's able to do it.
Yes.
And gets all the stuff imported from Hawaii, most of it, right?
Right, yeah, all our plumeria come from a farm on Molokai, and we string everything custom. So, for example, white is very traditional for a bride and groom to use just white and green. I have a bride that wanted to put some fuchsia roses in hers. We're doing that currently. Yes.
You can also do these. These are kukui nuts and shells.
These are called mango shells, and they come in several different colors as well, which is a nice thing to do maybe for your groomsmen.
Or, this isn't Miley, but you can do a Miley type setup too.
And all those you can see on our website. If you call us here, we can direct you.
And on Lay of Love, you have all that information.
Right,
as well.
layoflove.com. You can see all the, and we custom that. Anything you see, we can do in different colors.
But the great thing about beach weddings is that you have that beautiful vision of the beach.
Yes.
You have the waves crashing in the backdrop. You have that feeling. People want beach weddings. People come from all over the U.S. to California
Yes.
to have their beach weddings.
Yes.
And this is what makes it wonderful. And we know the beaches. We know how to do the setups.
Yes.
We can do the budget setups. We can do the exotic setups. That's the beauty about what we do. And that's the beauty about what we can do for you. So give Great Officiants a call, and we'll take care of you.
We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Bye-bye. Yes. Aloha.